What's up, guys? How you doing? It's Matthew Neer with Digital Bankroll here to talk to you today about how to take profit in the bull run for millions of dollars. How do you cash it out? How do you get the money out of crypto once you made the big bag? Okay, so let's talk about that today. I'll show you what to do, how to do it, and how to estimate the timeline as to when you should take profit here inside the crypto markets in the bull run in 2025 and beyond. So let's first talk about that. And then I'll show you some methods to cash out depending on what you're trying to sell. Okay. So if we look at Bitcoin here and we look at the all-time chart, so right now we're in what possibly looks like our first correction, maybe, maybe not, depending on how you want to call that. But if we look back at the previous bull runs, it will give us a pretty good indication of when you should take some profits. Let me zoom in here to the 2020, 2021 bull run. Okay, get some more. Yeah, okay. So you can kind of see here, this was the big bull run, and notice we had a double top on this one, right? So that's not typical as to what we've seen in crypto in the past, but that was largely due to a few things. One being that China banned mining in the middle of the bull run, somewhere around here. This is also, I believe, around right when Elon Musk said he's selling all his crypto, right? On SNL or whatever it was, or in a tweet. And it did cause some panic, but the market bounced back. We had a double top. My opinion, that was a very stunted cycle and a bearish cycle. I think it should have been way more crazy in 2021, but that's what happened, and that's what we got. Okay. And you notice we topped out here, right? This was 4/15/21, and the other top was 10/20/21 in October. Okay. So now, if we go back a little bit further, well, before we do that, if you look here, we get three pullbacks, right? We had one dip here, one dip here, and one dip here, and then it was basically the top. Okay. We had a double top on this one, so it's a little bit off, but let's look at what happened in the last bull run here in 2017, 2018. Okay. So if you look here, the big run up starts, and how many pullbacks do we get, right? We had maybe the first dip here, one, two, and then three. Okay. Depending on how you want to count, could be one, two, and the third one here. Then it sold off back into the bear market. Okay. So typically, we're going to see three or four tops and then a sell off and a correction. And the third one will likely be that's a wrap, okay, on the bull run. So if we, knowing that information and we look at where we're at here today, okay, we're seeing maybe just the first little correction right here, okay? So that's one. We're probably gonna have two more big run-ups and then finito. That's it. It's over. You should sell your bags at that point, okay? And based off history, that's pretty likely to happen again. And I think this time it's not going to be a double top. It's going to be a big fat run up and a blow off top because of the ETFs, because of big companies and corporations, institutions all coming into Bitcoin this season. And of course, depending on what happens in January 20th, when Trump takes office, if he signs into law a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the US, I think that will cause a lot of other countries to rapidly do the exact same thing this cycle. And that's going to be huge and extremely bullish for Bitcoin this season. Okay. So, what are we looking at in terms of price? I think that a bearish scenario for Bitcoin this season is like 150 to 200K. Okay. And if we do a medium sized cycle, we'll see somewhere between a 250 and 300,000 Bitcoin. And if we do something just crazy, blow off top, which I think is pretty likely to happen this cycle, I think this is the big one because it's the first time we had ETFs, countries, institutions, Wall Street money, etc. Everybody's coming in this cycle. It'll probably be the big one. And then next season, we'll probably see some more regulation and things like that. It'll be a smaller cycle next season. And plus, you have to account for diminishing returns. Each cycle is not like a crazy 100x for Bitcoin like it was in the early days. It gets slightly less each cycle, right? Because people are already in the market, right? So if we have the crazy blow off top, I think that the price prediction for Bitcoin will be north of 450 to 500,000 plus, okay? And if we go crazy, it could go over a million this cycle. It just depends what happens, right? And how many countries decide to come in if that becomes a thing, okay? Or how many institutions decide to come in and how big they want to go, how much volume can the ETF push through this thing, okay? So that's kind of where it is, and you just want to keep an eye on that, right? So if we're counting this as the first correction, again, we get two more big run-ups, and the third one likely going to be, look at the nice balloons there, huh? The third one likely going to be the big sell-off and back into the bear market. The timeline for that happening, I think, based off of history, if you look, when was this peak right here? That was 12/20/17, the peak of the bull. When was this peak right here? 10/20/21. When's the peak going to be right here in this bull? Likely Q4 2025. Okay, that's the time you probably want to sell all your bags or at least unload a lot of your profit at that time. It could happen earlier, it could happen later, but it's likely to be in Q4, October, November, December 2025. Okay, now if you're in the market and you're like, Matthew, how the heck do I sell my crypto? I got millions. How do I offload it? Okay. So if you're in something like Bitcoin, it's pretty safe to sell that on the big exchanges. So you can see the markets down here. All of these are exchanges where you could potentially sell your crypto. Okay. So Coinbase, Binance, if you're in China, Coinbase, if you're in the US, we have Kraken, KuCoin, and many others. Okay. And so that's what you're going to look for to sell your crypto if you're in the States and you're in Bitcoin, right? But what if you're in some of the big meme coins, right? What do you do if you have a meme coin play and you want to sell that quickly, but you don't know how because it's not listed on any big exchanges, or perhaps you have such a fat bag that you can't unload the whole thing on an exchange due to liquidity, okay? Due to lack of liquidity. What should you do at that time? If you guys are in any of the big meme coins like Doge, Shiba, Pepe is a big runner this season. Pepe's just been incredible, as a matter of fact. Let's have a peek at that. It's done absolutely insane numbers. So we're looking at, Pepe, back when I found out about Pepe right here in January, February of this year, we're looking at a market cap of 500 million, and Pepe is now at 10 billion. I think that Pepe has the potential to reach a $100 billion market cap this season, okay, in 2025. And that's going to be insane for a new meme like this. And why do I think that, right? What supports the evidence of that? If you look at Dogecoin, the leader of the memes, last cycle, what was the market cap peak? Okay, let's have a look at that. And it was $84 billion, which means it's going to be bigger this bull run because every bull run is bigger than the last, right? In terms of market cap. So I think Dogecoin could see, I don't know, man, it could be 200, 300, 400 billion dollars in market cap or more. That's huge. And that means the other memes are going to run up along with it. Why? Because what happens typically in crypto is you see people come into Bitcoin. That's the big leader of the markets, right? Then it peaks, it has a big run up, and it starts to sell off. People take their profits, they move them over to things like Ethereum and the next big caps in crypto. Then once those start to peak and sell off, people move their profits again into meme coins on, for example, the Ethereum network. Okay. Pretty cool to think about it like that because you notice it's just a bunch of elevators going up one after the next, and the profits rotate out to the next tier of coins that are in line. Okay. So for example, Pepe is an Ethereum meme token. So when Ethereum goes through the roof, that means Pepe is coming up to bull run next right after. Okay. So if you look here back on CMC on Ethereum, okay, you look at the all-time chart. So what was the all-time chart here? We had, now notice, when did Bitcoin peak last season? 10/20/21, and Ethereum peaked 11/8/21, just about 30 days later. Okay, interesting to think about it like that. Now this season is going to be even bigger. I think we looked at a $4,800 Ethereum at the peak of the bull last run. I think this season we're looking somewhere between 10, 15, $20,000 for an Ethereum is pretty realistic at the peak of the bull run in 2025. That's going to be massive. And if you're in and you watch what happens in the market, right? Ethereum's going to peak, profits are going to sell off, and they're going to move over into Ethereum meme tokens like Pepe and many more. Okay. Very, very cool. Very good intel to know. But now let's say, for example, if you're in a meme coin that is super degenerate, like a Pepe, for example, although Pepe did get Coinbase, you can sell your Pepe on Coinbase now. But what if you're in another meme that is not available on the big exchanges yet, right? If we scroll down here a little bit and have a quick peek, let's see what some of these memes are coming up here in the game looking like. What if you have some Andy? Okay, let's have a look at Andy. Now, Andy, if you look at the exchanges that Andy is on, it's on Mexi, Gate.io, BingX, CoinX, right? None of these are available in the US unless you use a VPN, right? If you use a VPN, you can access them. But listen, how do you sell your crypto if you have it in one of these meme coins, right? What I would recommend that you do is you have a wallet like a OneKey or you have a Tangem, and they can swap on that wallet directly and use a DEX and use DEX liquidity to offload your crypto that way, to offload your meme coins that way, okay? So that's a huge tip. If you don't know how to do that, I'll do future videos on custody of your crypto, okay? And you guys can follow along with that as well. I'll show you how to do it safely, securely, so you don't get your bags racked and dumped on when it's time to sell. Because when it is time, boom, you got to sell it like that and take your profits, okay? And be a happy winner in crypto. Don't be a loser. Don't get your bags dumped on and lose all your profits, okay? Now, Andy, if you look at this, right, if we have a quick peek at the website, the reason why Andy's going to be good is part of the boys club, right? So Andy is friends with Pepe, right? So if you guys know anything about the narrative going on these days, it's part of the Matt Fury comics, okay? So there's Pepe, there's Brett, there's Landwolf, and there's, what's the other one? I forget the name of the other one, but there's a few of them in there, and they're very, very good if you know how to buy them before they get listed on the big exchanges, right? So here we have Andy. It's looking really good, sitting at a $289 million market cap right now. And this thing's likely to go into the billions because Pepe is already at 10 billion and it's going to 100, I think, roughly. We have Brett, which is already at, I think, 1 or 2 billion, which is amazing. Let's have a look at Brett here for a second. And let's see what the market, yeah, 1.6 billion, so $1.5 billion. And it's a great looking chart, killer. And it's not really on any major centralized exchanges yet, but it will be, okay? And so look at all the exchanges. That's insane for Brett. But Brett's going to be good runner this season. I think we're going to see, probably a 5 or 10 billion market cap for Brett. And what that means is right now, for example, if you're in on Brett at a $1.6 billion market cap and it goes to 10.5 billion, that means you make a 10x on your bags. That means you turn $1,000 into 10,000 just by investing early in a coin like Brett, and then of course selling at the right time. Okay. So anyways, guys, that is some cool alpha. This video, I'll have a lot more updates in the future for you as well. But that's it for today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one. See you guys. Take care. Bye.